Now, this week we're commemorating the 70th anniversary of D-Day, when the biggest land, sea and air force ever assembled invaded the beaches of France.
Crucial to the invasion were the 900 Dakota aircraft, which dropped thousands of Allied paratroopers behind enemy lines.
To celebrate their role, 8 surviving Dakotas will recreate that epic mission later this morning. Our reporter Duncan Kennedy is Lee On Solent, where the planes will be taking off from. Very good morning to you, Duncan, and that is an amazing sight just behind you there.
It is an amazing sight, isn't it? Look at that. The old war horse of the Second World War. These are the Dakotas. This one behind me is an American one. There's a Norwegian one, a French one, even a Russian one. They copied the plans and made their own version. It was what Eisenhower, the Supreme Commander of the Allied forces, called the workhorse of World War II. As you said, transporting 25,000 paratroopers in one day across the Channel, British, American and Canadians, to take the fight to the Germans behind German lines. 900 of these flights were made on D-Day. Today, about 8 or so, depending on how well they're maintained, will take off later on this morning, full of parachutists, to recreate that whole D-Day invasion on what should be a remarkable event.
It was the plane that helped make D-Day possible. The DC-3 or Dakota, once again flying over southern England. A plane that became the airborne workhorse of Operation Overlord. 900 Dakotas flew on that day, delivering paratroopers onto French soil, taking the fight directly to the Germans. Now, 70 years on, some of the few remaining Dakotas have gathered again to recreate that epic flighted invasion.
Some of them I'd known since the brigade formed.
94-year-old Maurice Bell parachuted out of many Dakotas and recalls a fine but unforgiving aircraft, especially during its unpressurized dives.
I've seen strong, brave men screaming with pain. That was the only problem we had, I had with the Dakota. It served us so well. Honestly, I could worship it. I think it saved our lives.
Each plane carries the special invasion markings.
Flying at around 130 miles an hour, Dakotas swooped over the Channel from air bases across southern England.
We want you to raise all the hell you can.
Americans, British and Canadians all flew in behind German lines before dropping off thousands of paratroopers to take bridges and key roads ahead of the seaborne forces.
The Allied airborne force formed the spearhead of invasion.
In many ways, the Dakota was the perfect aircraft for the job. It was the right size, the right speed, and it was reliable, and arguably, without it, D-Day might have gone very differently.
Here are the throttles.
Peter Garrod, who's 93, delivered the Dakotas ready for D-Day action and says they rose supremely to their wartime challenge.
There were aeroplanes which were not so pleasant to fly, but the Dakota certainly wasn't one of them. There were no real problems with the Dakota at all, and that, I think, has contributed no doubt to its remarkable reputation.
Today's event is one of the biggest peacetime gatherings of the Dakota. 11,000 were made in World War II, becoming an aircraft that D-Day commanders built their entire plans around.
To quote Eisenhower, one of 4 things that won the war, along with the atom bomb, the bazooka and the Jeep. It can do anything, it has done everything, it will always get their crews home, and was greatly loved by those who flew it and those who still fly it today.
Many wartime nations had their iconic aircraft, but the Dak that served the Allies has few aeronautical peers. From transport to troop carrier, it was a monumental plane for its time.
Well, it really is a remarkable machine, and maintenance and weather permitting, this one and all these down here will be taking off later on this morning. They'll be forming up over Fareham and then flying in formation down Southsea seafront here in Portsmouth, heading off towards Guernsey, making a right angle turn exactly as they did on D-Day, heading back over northern France, and at that point, again, weather permitting, the parachutists will all jump out. So an incredible machine ahead of what should be a remarkable day.